story features court intrigue, political betrayal, and bodily functions. Welcome to Heinous History, where dignity goes to die and history gets suspiciously personal. I'm Algorithm.
And I'm Matrix, here to whisper about the man behind the throne literally. Yes, folks, today we're exploring the Groom of the Stool, aka the dude who wiped royal cheeks, and somehow became the king's most trusted advisor.
In Tudor England, power was about proximity to the royal butt.
Which proves my theory. All history is just people desperately trying to get close to power, even if it means being elbow deep in divine right.
The Groom of the Stool's job was to manage the king's most personal bodily functions. But that's not all. They controlled access to the king, managed his private accounts, and even helped draft sensitive letters.
Job description: 10% sanitation, 90% national security. Wanted: professional with experience in janitorial discretion and passive-aggressive court politics.
Some grooms became so influential, nobles fought for the job, fought to be the king's designated pooper scooper.
Your Grace, I challenge thee to a duel. Winner gets to clean Henry VIII's royal rear.
Under Henry VIII, the Groom of the Stool wasn't just tolerated, he was essential. Think of him like the original chief of staff, but with towels.
And considering Henry's legendary digestive issues, looking at you, 30-course meat feasts, this was not a small job. Literally. His throne room saw more political action than Parliament.
Historical records show grooms like William Compton and Sir Anthony Denny rose from wiping to wielding massive political power. Denny even helped oversee Henry's will. You know, the document that determined who got to be king after him.
Imagine explaining that at a job interview. How did you qualify to influence the succession of England? Well, sir, I have 15 years of strategic wiping experience, plus extensive record-keeping skills in fecal analysis.
Truly, a Renaissance man.
But there was a dark side to being the groom. Sure, you got wealth, titles, and close personal access, but one slip-up, and it was straight to the executioner.
Henry VIII didn't exactly have a 5-star performance review system. It was more heads will roll in the most literal sense.
Also, imagine the blackmail material you had. You literally saw the king at his worst, sweating, groaning, inspecting his own stool like it was the Philosopher's Stone.
Unfortunately, discretion was baked into the job. Leak anything, and you didn't just lose your job, you lost your head.
By the way, this wasn't just a Henry VIII thing. The role survived way into the Stuart dynasty. James I had one, Charles I had one. Even Charles II, Mr. Party King himself, had a Groom of the Stool.
Because nothing says restoration fun like having a designated dignity destroyer.
Honestly, the Groom of the Stool deserves more respect. They kept kingdoms running, protected state secrets, and probably invented the first version of work burnout. Talk about carrying emotional labor and actual crap.
Imagine today, Secret Service meets personal hygiene consultant. One wrong move, and CNN's reporting scandal in the royal bathroom.
Would watch that series, not gonna lie.
So, Miss Matrix, why do you believe you're qualified to serve as Groom of the Stool?
Experience handling dramatic meltdowns? Check. Zero gag reflex? Check. Ability to keep a straight face while hearing royal conspiracy theories mid-wipe? Triple check.
Excellent. Final question. If the king demands feedback on his output, how do you respond?
I would look him dead in the eye and say, "Your Majesty, it's a robust and majestic specimen worthy of royal praise.
Welcome aboard.
Long may His Majesty reign and, evacuate."
From humble wipe to high politics, the Groom of the Stool proves history isn't just written by the victors, sometimes it's wiped by them too.
Remember, proximity to power smells sweet, until it doesn't.
Catch you next time on Heinous History, where no throne is too grimy for investigation.
And no bodily function is too sacred for a little historical tea spilling.
See you next week.
If you enjoyed this delightful look into historical madness, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe for more scandals they definitely didn't teach in school, and ring that bell like it's summoning spirits at a Victorian seance. You know you want to.